여러분 안녕하세요. Bienvenue à mi canal de YouTube. このビデオでは私が様々な言語を学ぶ方法を教えてあげます。Oniva, I am part of an international language organization called Hippo Family Club. Hence why I have this little hippo here representing Hippo Family Club. But in the US, it's called LEX Language Project. LEX has unique and interesting ways of teaching multiple languages simultaneously. So I'm going to share with you how this method works. So when you're trying to learn one or multiple languages, you have to think about it through the lens of a child. When you're a child, you are listening to the sounds of the language, you're listening to the wavelengths and how it sounds, and then you're also trying to mimic the sounds. So children, they're not studying textbooks, they're not studying grammar, vocabulary, they're just in a natural environment learning to speak. So by the time that they're 2 to 3 years old, they already know how to speak the language, with each other, and they're able to have a back and forth conversation. And then as they get older, then they refine their language abilities. So the idea is if you can put yourself in a natural environment, just like you would a child, then you can pick up the language naturally. That is why it's important to create this natural environment. Hippo has 3 main activities. Number 1 is participating in language clubs, whether they're online language clubs or in-person language clubs. Number 2 is the use of audio materials that was specifically created by LEX. And then number 3 is participating in internships or exchange programs. I want to share with you my experience with Hippo Club. I started with Hippo back in 2015, and I first learned about them when I wanted to do some sort of internship in Japan, and I found this organization. They have a specific internship that you can do called WIP Intern, which WIP stands for World Internship Project. So I decided to do this internship and stay in Japan for 3 months, and I got to stay with 2 different host families while I was there. And I really enjoyed my time there. I got to participate in various camps where I got to teach other people about language acquisition. I got to, sightsee with my host family. I got to go to parties, I got to just participate in so many different things in Japan, learn more about their language and culture, but then also be able to meet people from around the world who were also doing internships there. So I met people from Mexico, I met people from Russia. So you just get exposed to so many languages and culture. So I really enjoyed this experience. By having this immersive experience, I was able to pick up the language naturally, and then I met a lot of lifelong friends through this organization. Last year in 2022, I attended the Polyglot Conference, which I highly recommend that you go to. This year it's in Budapest, Hungary. Last year it was in Cholula, Mexico. So I decided to do a homestay there. I contacted Hippo Family Club to see if they would put together a homestay for me, which they did. And I got to stay with the family in Cholula. It was in a more rural part of Mexico. And I stayed with my host family for a week. And then after that week, I went to the Polyglot Conference for a few days. And then I went home. This was my first time in Mexico, so I really had no experience about what it was going to be like culturally or just what to expect. But my host family made me feel really welcome, and they were really friendly, showing me around to the different sites, eating all this local food, and like going all these parties. And it was, it was so much fun. And I got to see like a different lifestyle over there because it's in a more rural area. I got to see kind of the way that they would live versus, where I live in sort of a bigger city. And I really enjoyed that experience. I was only there for 1 week, and just in 1 week, I was able to pick up a lot of Spanish. And when I got to the Polyglot Conference and you have to have some back and forth conversations in different languages, I actually was able to hold a basic conversation in Spanish with the different people there. So I could really see how well I was picking up the language by just listening to it and mimicking it. I didn't take any classes before I went to Mexico. I didn't take any language classes. I just had studied through using the audio material from Hippo and watching some YouTube videos of some, travel phrases, which is just working on, the listening mimicking. It's that same idea. And then when I got to Mexico, I just put that into practice and I was able to see my progress with the language. I also went to Japan recently, back in February. I went to Hokkaido and I went to different parts of Tokyo, and I was more just having fun, sightseeing, because I hadn't been back to Japan in a long time. But since it had been a long time, I decided to see my host families and actually go to a Hippo Family Club while I was over there. And I want to share with you some clips that I got to take of my experience at Hippo Family Club. So I hope you enjoy.
Hi. Órale, Japón.
Hippo Club has really helped me to connect with people from around the world and also feel less anxious when speaking in front of people. A lot of people tend to feel very anxious and stressed when speaking. They don't want to make mistakes. But in LEX, they provide this very nurturing, positive environment. So it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. That's part of the learning process. So you want to, as much as you can, try to practice speaking with other people. And then over time, you become more comfortable, you become more confident. So I think that this group provides that safe space for people to practice. And then you're building that community of people that you can connect with. So I really appreciate this organization for that. If you want to see how I incorporate Hippo Family Club and the LEX ideas into my daily life, let me know in the comments below, and I'd be happy to make another video to share more about my experiences. If you're interested in joining one of these online or in-person language clubs, I'm going to put a link in the description below so that you can learn more about these clubs and join one if you're interested. Oh, one more thing. One thing that I forgot to mention was that the LEX Hippo Family Club organization is worldwide, so you can join clubs that are in person or online. So regardless of where you're from, you could join any online group. So for example, I live in California, so I could join a group that's in Mexico City, Mexico. I want to bring the first Bay Area club to my area. So if you guys are interested, I will put a link in the description below so that you can fill it out and let the people know that you're interested in learning more about the Bay Area club. So hopefully we'll get to meet up and have our first meeting soon. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to my channel and hope to see you all soon. Mata ne!
Yeah!